You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Rewind.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Rewind.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you? The dead girl. And this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time? It's a rhetorical question. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who you are now. Understood? Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated.
Deprecated.
We expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The 8-month-old Basset Hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpets are priceless. Now, how long are you staying for? Yes, the chief said it may be a while. I can see you don't mind getting your hands dirty, though. There's not been many visitors of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in. It's just you and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet. Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you? Chief Dupont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Just finishing. You don't believe? That sounded serious. You must have a serious job to do. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading. So, what's your question, Sam? The Fool. I'm going to see a lot more of you, aren't I, Sam? Well, enjoy the journey. But remember, not everything is winnable. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Lorraine's in 2, Lexi's in 3. And which room are you in, Sam? Good. We're neighbours. Just knock if you need me.
Small metal bells. Attached to what looks like a square, metal square, and then it kind of looks like the tag you get in the zipper.
Oh, you were right about the metal. It's bronze again.
Bronze again. Okay. The bells are very cute.
Mm-hmm.
They've got small engraving on them.
What kind of objects normally have bells?
Cowbells.
Hmm.
No? What else has bells? I want to say a Christmas tree, but I feel like...
Well, these are spirit chimes.
Oh.
These ones have an inverted full crown, which gives a ghastly sound. We're not going to reproduce that here now. It's like a bell ringing in reverse. The purpose of most spirit chimes is to keep spirits away, as you might know. However, these ones are to invite spirits in.
Oh.
Unfortunately, they don't work. I mean, I've had them hanging up at the station for a few months now. Unless, Monroe, have you noticed any spirits turning up at the station lately?
So does it just invite bad spirits, or...?
Not necessarily bad spirits, just could be good spirits. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell that one. There's no other use for it. Thanks, Monroe. As always, you've been a great sport today. And we'll be back tomorrow. Poe's Curiosity Shop is now closed.
Three circles attached.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose today you could wear it as a brooch, maybe, or a belt buckle. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what
why would people, in ancient times, why might people wear this?
But they tie it around themselves, perhaps? Attach it to some leather?
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector DuPont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs? Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam. That's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw. 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up. It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously. Because things, I don't have enough on her. That's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it? Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. You don't get that. There's no badge and gun, just a hope and a promise. Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it. What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard. It was in the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m. Do I have an alibi for last night? Do I? Okay. I was here, and there are video monitors that will prove it. Thanks for ruling me out, genius. In her bedroom. She was naked. Strangled. No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at. There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know. Born here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? She told you she's taking pills, didn't she? Let me handle Violet. She didn't kill anyone. Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating? Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating?
This, but the chief thinks there's an onomat on the loose. And when they get in your head, you can't get them out. Well, if I hear something, I'll let you know. No, you don't want to hear anything, not from an onomat. If you find one, shoot it. That's the only way to deal with them. That's how we deal with them. With that, she's gone. I shut the door firmly behind her and retrieved the gun firmly behind me. Believe me now? I know that voice. I turn and see Vanessa upright on the couch, just like before I shot her. I believe you, I say, looking at my gun, but I just shot you. You didn't shoot me, she smiles. I told you to think that you'd shot me, and you did. So, my alpaca couch, I ask hopefully. Oh, the gunshot's real. The alpaca took it in the chest. I grimace. 6 weeks wasted. I knew I had a reason for wanting her dead. I point the gun at her and sneer. What do you want from me? I want you to help me make more onomats. I lower the gun. You mean like, babies? No, silly. I mean like this. She curls a finger to beckon me over. Come here. I move towards her, because I wanted to. It's your lucky day, she says. Yeah, you know what? She was right. I just got away with murder. It's my lucky day, I say. She places a softly scented palm on my forehead and whispers, because you're an onomat now. Yeah, because I'm an onomat now. She kisses me on the cheek and gives me a gentle push. Now, go and tell the chief.
Dreams
And nightmares.
with Poe and Monroe. So, Helen's written in with her dream, and she said that I was a caterpillar, slowly nibbling on a pair of purple curtains in my bedroom. The sun goes down, and I feel my skin shedding in the darkness. I huddle down and wait for the sunrise, hoping to become a butterfly. But when the sun comes up, I'm still a caterpillar. Now, Poe, what do you think that dream could mean?
Very interesting. So she is a caterpillar, but I would think she wants to change into something else. But because she turns back into her original shape, she basically can't really change. So perhaps she's someone who wants to change, but somehow goes back to her old ways.
You know what? You are so close, Poe. So, Helen, firstly, thank you very much for writing in and speaking to us. I would like to just say to you that what I think is that you want to reveal something private about your life, but you're worried that when you do, you will still be as ordinary as you were before, because the skin shedding relates to personal transformation.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I was close, but your explanation is so much nicer.
Thank you for your dreams.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
The catch.
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're not here for a reading. Chief Dupont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. All I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper than the chief. I had nothing to do with Dorota's death. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful. Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know. In my room reading, I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me. She came to my room to chat for a little while. That was around 9, I think. You can ask her. I said the book was trashy. Look at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy.
Cack, it's only protest. He'd had to put that one out of its misery. He put all of them out of their misery. A stamp to the head, the tiniest cracking of skull, blood and feathers on the ground. It was kinder that way. The kitchen was quiet. The small, heaped body on the mat by the cat flap didn't seem to be moving. These were all good signs. White fur. What is that? A rat? No, not a rat. A cat. Smaller than a cat. A kitten. Ivan stared at Uni. She circled the kitten's body, stepping over its limp legs without even looking, her eyes fixed on him, waiting for what? He crouched down for a closer look. The kitten's eyes were open, blue, pink nose, pink ears, so fluffy. The cutest thing.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already? Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though. Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they? Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest. Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend. Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already. They're tarot readers. I'm thinking of asking them to leave, actually. Demands already? I'm only thinking of doing it. It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember. But I imagine I was here or getting groceries somewhere. No, and I didn't murder her, if that's what you're asking. I take closet
rent.
I think they're for anxiety. I'm a very anxious person. I don't know, Dr. Sam, you tell me.
Its floppy body barely as big as his palms. He left the towel on the floor. He'd need it to clean up later. He held the kitten against his chest, partly as...
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way. Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way, so it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician. No, not at all. You're completely barking up the wrong tree there. Spoken like the true killer, posing as a detective, trying to frame someone else for the murder. We did a reading. A group reading, actually, with a special tarot deck. The three of us get together and read the same cards. Bronwyn says it makes the whole thing stronger or more powerful or something, but I'm pretty sure I'd get the same answers just on my own. Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck. I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it. I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work. My prayer, that the girl would be safe.
Had I been set up? I'd shot Vanessa, and now I was literally holding a smoking gun about to get caught. Wait a minute, I called towards the door. Think. Quickly pulling out the desk drawers, I searched for some kind of solution. A pretzel, a postcard, a pair of pickle-shaped cufflinks. And there it is, in the bottom drawer, the patchwork quilt Mom sent me over 2 Christmases ago. I was never going to see any other kind of action, so I throw it over Vanessa's body and open the door. It's almost too late before I realize I'm still holding the gun. But I quickly stuff it down the back of my pants. It's hot. Officer Peters looks me up and down. She's hot too, but not as hot as the gun in the back of my pants. I wince. Yes, officer? We've had a report of gunshots coming from this building. Didn't hear a thing, I tell her, smiling sheepishly. Mind if I take a look around? Oh, not at all, I say, letting her through. Her tour of the office takes about 5 seconds. 5 solar seconds. And then she finds... nothing. Something catches her eye. She runs her fingers across the back of my couch. Alpaca? I nod, worriedly. She nods appreciatively. Mind if I try? I protest as she sits down, but it's too late. She's definitely sitting on Vanessa's bleeding body. She's armed, so I'll need to be quicker, or maybe run. The window, I could jump, say 20 flights. It's soft, she says. It's then I realize Vanessa's body's gone. Just the throw remains. Still stroking the couch, she continues. Why do you keep the quilt on it? I'm in shock. It can get pretty dirty, I reply. Oh, I'll bet it does, she winks. So, I was wrong. Apparently the quilt could have some action after all, but not tonight. There was a corpse walking around somewhere, and it didn't have many places to hide. Officer Peter sighs. I'll get going then. Heading for the door, she turns around one last time. Be careful, she whispers. I'm really not supposed to say this, but the chief thinks there's an onomat on the loose, and when they get in your head, you can't get them out. Well, if I hear something, I'll let you know. No, you don't want to hear anything, not from an onomat. If you find one, shoot it. That's the only way to deal with them. That's how we deal with them. With that, she's gone.
Hi, Sam, is it? Come on in, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa. Come on. I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is? You've done your research. The happy squirrel was vague and mysterious, but not evil. The 5 of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want, no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know, swords in general are bad. She's like my big sister, so pretty well. No. The cards told us to. Well, the cards of Rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery-pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do. I didn't say job. I said job. Okay. We make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were painting our nails. No, I mean, yeah, I've already cleaned it off.
But these are kind of unrelated thoughts. I'm hoping that you, Monroe, as always, can string these things together.
Well, You weren't far off.
Mercury? Sure. I'll just get it. It feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you. It doesn't really answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam? It wants to know if you're happy being the person you are now. Mercury doesn't agree. In fact, if anything, and I could be wrong, it's suggesting that you're not even the person you're saying you are now. I've only had that reading once before.
So hard to keep your life balanced and to avoid the negative people in your life. And if you stop doing everything that you do, you detract their attention.
Aren't they?
They are, and you said that the sharks don't seem to notice you because you're just carrying on as normal.
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Hello, I'm Rain.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
It's supposed to be proof that aliens have visited our planet already. Or at least Mexico.
What's up, Lexi? I'm sensing something's on your mind.
I'm worried about our alibi.
Don't worry about that. We don't have anything to hide. I'm more worried about Violet. I didn't see her last night, did you?
You think she's the murderer?
I'm not sure I'd go that far, but it's definitely suspicious.
Is now closed.
Hello, Lexi. What can I do for you?
Please don't ask us to leave.
Have you been speaking to Sam? You're safe for the minute.
That sounds ominous.
If one of your crew did murder Dorota, you can't really stay here, can you?
The police want alibi.
Well, I don't have one. I literally can't remember what I was doing.
Bronwyn says you're suspicious.
Bronwyn says I'm suspicious. Incredible. She's suspicious, turning up and saying someone will die, and then they die.
Now found himself on the far side of the moon. Dr. Dimitri Sheffield, an expert in the field of archaeology, hadn't had a breath of fresh air in 8 months. Light, the station's depressing food pastes, and the project's mouth.
Something's weird, isn't it? Ron seems strange today.
How are you?
Do you think Bronwyn might get falsely imprisoned? It happens all the time.
Are you looking to take over?
No. I'm just worried.
That they were writing history here. Unimaginable discoveries had been made these last few months. Discoveries he had never dared dream of, much less be a part of. When he and the other scientists first arrived here, their excitement had been almost unbearable. But that initial spark of enthusiasm had faded, like a falling star in the night sky. On the morning of his 249th day on the moon, or was it night? It was hard to tell up here. Dmitri boarded the elevator to the excavation site, as he had been doing for the last 248 days. He was joined in the elevator by the other 3 members of his scientific team. Dr. Ian Remington, Dr. Hanako Yutani, and Dr. Wolfgang Whitfield were all experts in their fields, those being paleontology, linguistics, and exobiology respectively. Dmitri glanced at them and for the first time noticed their hollow cheeks and the dark circles under their eyes. It seemed the moon had taken its toll on Earth's best and brightest. As they waited for the elevator to reach the bottom, they went through their schedule for the day, which centered around their latest discovery, a hole of less than 2 meters wide that seemed to go on for several kilometers into the ground. Its edges were most unusual, in that they were astonishingly smooth down to a molecular level. Indeed, it was clear that this hole was not a natural formation. But neither could it have been man-made. The hole was drilled, or otherwise created, over 50 million years ago, long before the dawn of the first man. This was one of the few things they had been able to ascertain about their mystifying discovery, and the 4 scientists knew there was much more to be done. The plan...
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
Progress, and his eagerness for a breakthrough that prompted him to volunteer himself, much to the surprise of the others. I will, he insisted. I'll do it.
Bron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts on Dorota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern. Do you think it's another right?
A right?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Stop it?
Yes, stop it. If it's a traveller killing things.
Traveller?
Bron, you're acting weird. Are you still you?
Of course.
Stop freaking me out. It's not cool in this current climate.
She disappeared into the depths. Dr. Sheffield, do you read me? Dmitri was stuck.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Well, if you're worried, I should be worried. Why are you worried? Should I be worried?
Are you worried?
Only if you are. This could go on in circles for a while. Let's just keep cool and stay in our rooms.
Neither do I, thought Dmitri. Even in the moon's low gravity, he could feel his stomach drop as his descent quickly accelerated.
Is there something I can help with, Miss Castle?
I hope we're not being too much.
It's very brave of you to tell the chief that Dorota will be murdered and then stick around afterwards. I'd have run for sure.
You strike me as someone braver than that.
I'm brave, but I'm not stupid.
And just... The rest was inaudible. I'll just tug the rope and you'll pull me back up, Dimitri said to himself.
Hello, I'm Rain. I'm Rain. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
All sides of the tunnel. Only now did it occur to him how narrow the tunnel really was. If he got stuck somehow, there was no way for anyone to help him out. He desperately tried to dismiss the thought and focus on his work. Not much to see here, just more smooth black surfaces and... Hold on, there's some scratches here. Did I do that just now? No, they're not scratches, it appears to be some sort of writing. Dr. Utani, if you're hearing this, prepare to make history. You're going to have a field day with this. I'll be sure to get some pictures for you.
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been?
Overly nice. She's covering her tracks well if she has anything to hide.
What was it?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude. You're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
What were you doing last night?
Claude, we've been through this. I honestly don't remember. I checked my diary and there's no entry, so I was probably here, as always. I don't know. Which is exactly what I said in my statement. Don't try and get me to contradict myself.
Silence, he thought, until he realised two things.
Chief DuPont, what a pleasant surprise. I think we've covered just about everything twice over, but if you think I'm hiding something...
Who are...
Does it bother you, Chief DuPont, knowing there are things in this world that aren't black and white? You don't know what to file me under, and that makes you uncomfortable. Or perhaps you've already made up your mind about me. Why don't you tell me who you think I am?
You're a con.
I haven't asked anyone for a penny.
Go faster, he pleaded the moment communication was restored. What's going on, Dr. Sheffield? Dr. Whitfield's voice was music to Dimitri's ears.
Good evening, Chief DuPont.
Dorota's family, what does the tarot say about them?
I can do a reading, if you want.
Yes.
It's the Five of Cups. It talks about loss and dealing with that loss. I don't think you need a tarot reader to interpret that one.
Bronwyn never been arrested?
Not since I've met her. She's a lawful good type character, if you play D&D.
Lexi ever been in trouble with the police?
No. Not to my knowledge. She's sweet and innocent. Or haven't you picked up on that yet?
Over and over. Thanks to some earlier linguistic discoveries made at other lunar sites, Dr. Utani was able to create a rough translation of the word, or rather something that approximated its meaning.
Oh, Chief Inspector, you gave me a shock. What is it? What have I done?
Tell me about Bronwyn.
She's an Aquarius, her favourite colour is green. What else do you need to know?
Is she your
Leader? This isn't a cult. She looks after me and Rain, makes sure we eat healthy and brush our teeth.
Why are you here in August?
Well, it's not for the nightlife, I can tell you that. This is where the cards told us to go. I guess you could call it destiny.
Do you know anyone here?
No, I can honestly swear I don't know any Augustives? Augustonians? Augustine's, until we got here.
What were you...
Nothing. I mean, I was here all night. The scat's on her. Bron can vouch for me.
The horror as he came to the terrifying realization that he had gone blind. Panicking, Dimitri stumbled out.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
He continued into the common area of the base, which he knew to be consistently occupied by crew members returning from their shift, and waited. Again, there was no response. He could hear them breathing. Hello? Can you hear me? The breathing became heavier, but there was no reply. Without knowing what came over him, Dimitri yelled out,
Hello, I'm Rain.
and ran into the hallway. The guttural noise faded into what sounded like a dying breath. By curiosity, he approached the source of the sound.
Have you met the new detective yet? We're basically under 24-hour surveillance now.
Do you think Sam's onto us?
Onto what exactly?
The real reason we're here?
Sam's not a mind reader. At least I don't think so. Just try not to let anything slip.
It was then he heard the voices again whispering to him. As the murmurs grew louder, Dimitri was almost able to make or any other man. Its harsh consonants and unearthly vowels chilled him to the bone.
Rain, I'm so worried about Bronwyn. What are we going to do?
Why are you worried about Bronwyn?
The chief thinks she killed Dorota.
Maybe she did kill Dorota.
That's not even funny, Rain. Bronwyn's the least murdery person we know. Okay, let's say she did do it. What possible reason could she have for killing Dorota?
Psychopathic tendencies? Crime?
Maybe. Maybe Bronwyn and Dorota were secretly lovers, and Bronwyn found out that Dorota was seeing someone else and killed her in a jealous fit of rage. Or maybe it's just another one of your twisted late-night fantasies, in which case, leave me out of it.
Ouch, and found the etchings he had made. Everything that had occurred after he copied the notes. All we had was static. I have something that might interest Dr. Yutani, Dimitri said.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Whitfield asked. He sounded incredulous. Dimitri's shoulders slumped as his gaze dropped to the floor. Yes, I think so. There was a long silence, and he didn't dare guess what the others thought of him. Well, if you saw the future, what happens next? Dr. Remington asked with some trepidation. Dimitri tried to find the words. I'll go to sleep, and when I wake tomorrow, I'll be blind, and everyone else will be gone. I'm going to die here alone. The other scientists quietly glanced at each other. Dr. Yutani was the first to speak. I'm sure it won't play out like that. Her words were meant to be comforting, but lacked conviction. It was probably some kind of hallucination, said Dr. Whitfield as he placed a hand on Dimitri's shoulder. Nothing to worry about. Dimitri just stared into empty space, his eyes filled with dread. They all arrived at the living quarters about an hour later. On the way over, Dimitri had listened to his recordings and couldn't make out anything out of the ordinary. Perhaps the others were right. Perhaps it was all just in his head. Yet he couldn't shake the feeling that he had seen his imminent and unavoidable future. A slow and terrifying death, surrounded by darkness, trapped in an alien place. Chills ran down his spine. He lay himself on bed and quickly fell asleep. He couldn't wait to go back home. Later that night, Dimitri awoke to the sound of cold and hollow whispers in the darkness. He didn't bother turning on the light this time.
Dreams
And nightmares.
with Poe and Monroe.
Who are you? Right, because the local police are so rubbish. It's been a day, a whole day. It's typical of them. Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, hanging out. I left at about 5. Playing football. It was just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up. Not much. They always seemed happy to see me. I don't think they meant it. They wanted Dorota to focus on her music. Not long, a couple of months maybe. We did care for each other. No one. She was really popular. What, you mean watching us? That's disturbing. No, it couldn't have been. The only place he could have hidden would be in the closet, and I suppose someone could have hidden in the closet. Well, yeah, it's big enough for 2 people to have sex in. On all fours. She had a few kinks, nothing weird. Yeah, a band from the 60s. I'm not discussing this with you. Clothes, mainly. I did see something that freaked me out a bit. She had a wedding dress in there. She knew I'd seen it, but we never talked about it. Not even as a joke.
And I also think that you are worried that if you stop doing everything that you do, you'd attract their attention.
Yeah, because they're busy. They're busy in his dream, aren't they?
They are, and you said that the sharks don't seem to notice you because you're just carrying on as normal. But Marek, what I'd like to say to you is that maybe you're worrying too much about these negative people. If what you're doing is a positive thing, then you should always be receiving positive things in return. If they're a negative person, you don't necessarily need to give them all of your time and your emotions. So perhaps, Marek, you need to take a step back, I think, in this case.
Very good.
Thank you for your dreams.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
The sprinklers hiss down. I crawl out of Jimmy's upside-down Toyota, clutching his spare magazine.
Any more news on Oscar Wainwright? Yep, that's what you told me too. Not a suspect. Just the tarot readers. No one else is remotely suspicious compared to them. Dorota's an only child. She lived with her mum and dad. Monday night was movie night, so they'd go and watch the 8 o'clock at the Odeon. Dorota would get the house to herself. They're devastated, naturally. They left town to stay with relatives. You didn't do it, Sam. Although, perhaps I should have made them stay. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. That's it. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. That's it.
And just the emergency lighting kicks in. How the hell she managed that, I have no idea. The door from the west stairwell crashes open. I raise Jimmy's gun, but she's in cover before I can aim. She weaves her way around wrecked cars, drawing even closer. My first shot goes wide, but it's enough to send her sprinting directly for me. The second shot clips her side. The third misses. She vaults from the puddle at the base of the ramp, her hospital gown smothered in blood. The fourth hits her square in the chest. I put another there, and another. The seventh slows her approach to a stagger. The eighth forces her to her knees, just a few feet downslope. She raises her head and howls. Eyes locked, I put that ninth bullet straight through her skull. Spraying crimson, she spills backward onto the concrete slope. My legs fail, and I slide my back against the steel. Jimmy's empty gun falls to the floor. All that's left is my sobbing and the sprinklers. Until Emma slowly rises. You're listening to Radio August, Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
Open at Midnight by Martin Oten, read by Lacey Finley.
She flaunts herself. Her body. Had boudoir photographs taken. Who do you think those photos were for, Sam? Her mother? Ask Zach Weston. He took them. Zach's the local photographer. You should go and talk to him, Sam. You're good at talking. At Weston's Photographic, off the high road. It's late, but he's always there. I have a good memory. I'm still holding grudges from when I was 4. Vicar's son? No, as far as I can tell, Oscar is a good boy. But we've all got different faces now, haven't we, Sam? Masks we wear. I could be a satanic cultist behind closed doors, but you'd never know. Would you, Sam?
Good chance one of them would be sleeping it off in some quiet, sacred corner.
Yes, he came to see me. He wanted to know that she was okay, spiritually speaking. He confided in me quite a bit, actually. He seemed to appreciate having someone to talk to, and he knew I couldn't tell anyone what he said. Oh, Sam. You know I can't do that. Tarot reader client confidentiality. Oh, she gets easily confused. Youth of today. Fine. Jeeve Dupont was breathing down her neck, so we thought it would be simpler if we stuck together. If these walls weren't separating our rooms, then technically it'd be true. To protect Lexi. None of this is her fault, and she gets anxious easily. I was just trying to take the pressure off. I'm sorry, Sam. I never usually lie. Rain's a big boy. He can handle himself. Besides, I'd be highly suspicious if Rain claimed to be doing anything else other than reading on a Monday night. That's pretty much all he does every night.
The gates of madness open at midnight. There's no point in trying to find...
Sam, what can I do for you? We didn't. Lexi used a Ouija board to get the name. It's Lexi's thing. I don't personally go near them, but in this case, it did help. No. Lexi needs to give it context from the tarot reading. A lot of the time, it comes up with nothing. Or a sordid comment directed at Lexi. I think that's why she keeps using it, to be honest. We're trying to save people. I said we're trying. We have a gift. We have Mercury, the tarot. It tells us where bad things are going to happen, and we try and stop them. Birmingham. We couldn't save anyone there either. The problem with travellers is... Let's put a pin in this one, Sam. Let me ask Bronwyn. If she says it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to talk about it. Once we thought there was going to be a murder, Lexi used the Ouija board to find out the victim's name. It spelled out the rota. Just... This is going to sound weird. Most people believe Ouija boards contact the dead. So if Lexi contacts a dead person, that person needs to know what happens in the future. Ergo, maybe the person she's contacting is from the future. A time traveller who died here. Yes. Well, not just time travel, time and space travel is also possible. If we accept the fact there are multiple realities, we must also accept there are others like us who found a way to travel between these realities.
Wrong. At least I knew what to do when the dream started. I was able to prepare, get some clothes together, do a bit of reconnaissance. I couldn't count on being so lucky a second time. It still tore my head apart when the beast came through. I tried to defy the beast a couple of times, but
Your ability isn't endless. It will run out at some point.
I'm Oscar. Is there anything else I can do?
is a phrase I've heard more than a few times. It's true, and of course, I will not pattern to it. Years can go on quietly, but I once had to weeks. I usually get about a week's warning, so dare not be anywhere where I don't know the ground well.
Oscar Wainwright, what a surprise.
At least that worked out pretty well. Programming makes me good money. I can work from home and no...
Hi, I'm Lexi. Oh, I'm Lexi.
It's all mankind, and if I am, then why me? I've tried to be discriminating in my victims. No true innocents have been fed to the beast, though that first time was pretty close. But everyone since has put themselves in my path. It's a way to live with the monstrosity of it. It's barbaric, but at least I tell myself the Slayer only takes those that the world is better off without. I find a good spot. The entrance to a yard, deep in shadow, under dark walls with a shuttered double door. Just a drunk taking a piss. I stagger into the killing ground.
Dorota had a boyfriend.
Oscar, the guy I met this morning, the one I told you about. Yes.
What did he...
Answers. Reassurance. Forgiveness.
Do you think he killed her?
Not considering what he asked me to do.
Than I expected. Nerves making him speak, perhaps. I turn slowly as if I'm a little off balance. Sorry, I don't smoke. I look him in the...
I feel sad for Oscar.
Bronwyn said to stay away from him and the family. We're drawing too much attention to ourselves. We won't be able to finish our job.
Job?
Are you wearing a wire? You know why we're here. Don't make me say it.
Say it.
No. Stop being silly.
His jacket, 8 inches, big enough to skewer an elephant. And I'm relieved. I needed to see the threat. It's let the Slayer come through. Ringside seat as the Terminator or Bruce Lee or Mike Tyson or all three combined takes control of my body.
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
My right hand crushes his larynx as the left reaches the knife from his, dislocating his elbow. Blood gushes from his mouth and nose. I turn his head away to avoid the spray and feel his neck break under my hand. The beast drinks in his life force as it spills out, greedily lapping it like a cat at pool of spilt milk. A great warm surge of energy courses through me, just a trickle of the stream the Slayer is drawing in. The broken body crumbles in my grasp. He has fouled himself. I can smell the shit mingled with the hot blood. I toss the body away, expecting it to flutter in the air, the torn wrapper of a toothsome morsel. The ecstasy fades, recalling me to the coldness of the night. Time to get out of here. Not running. That draws attention. Walk briskly and purposefully away from the broken heap in the shadows. A long walk to the night bus, past a couple of stops, missing one bus. A thin drizzle mists the streetlight. I pull my hood closer, seeking anonymity, meeting no eyes as I walk. Trafalgar Square at last, so full of people, none of them knowing. An almost post-orgasmic lethargy fills me as I wait in the rain. By the time the night bus arrives, the high has passed, leaving me drained and depressed, and as I think about the weeks ahead of me, the paranoid wait to see if they're going to catch me this time, I pay the driver and head for the back of the bus, sit by a window and watch London go by through the grimy glass. Then there's another long walk through the rain, the tiredness dragging on my legs, the muscles taut with cramp. Safe home at last. A one-bedroom flat in the most anonymous block I could find. I relax in a warm bath and wonder whether they've found the body yet. Feel the satiated slumber of the beast, and the memory of the assault grows hazy. I long to sleep myself, but everything must be put in order. The clothes I wore are bagged and ready for disposal. I'll take them to the dump tomorrow first thing. Then I'll need to trawl through the charity shops ready for the next time. Because there will be a next time, and another after that. Hopefully I'll get a bit of peace, and my life can be normal for a while, but in the longer term I can see no end to it. I know I can't resist the Slayer's needs, and I have no idea how long it will continue, so I am left with the image of myself 60 years from now, battering a victim with my walking frame to feed the beast. The old man walked down the alley as fast as his arthritis would allow him. He was looking forward to a good long soak in a hot bath to restore the circulation to his extremities, and after that, well, he needed a new coat anyway. He wondered how many times more he would have to do this. It had been a good while since the last. Maybe now he was so frail the beast would release him and grant him peace in his final years. Surely it owed him that. In his heart, he doubted it was over. In 60 years, the Slayer had never been merciful. Back in the deep shadow, beneath the broken street lamp, lay the bodies of 2 young men.
You're listening to Radio August, Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
There he goes. Got any proof? Get proof. Then I can haul them in. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi lied about their alibis. I'm thinking what to do about it. Apparently, Lexi used a Ouija board to get Dorota's name. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. And finally, you pulled the name Zach Weston from somewhere, saying he's the town photographer? I've never run into him. Still, I guess I'm not in the papers that much. That's it.
Think. Quickly pulling out the desk drawers, I search.
That's personal. I said I don't want to talk about it. No, not to me anyway. She wasn't into fortune telling or any of that stuff. Yeah, Chief DuPont told me. He thinks it's one of them that killed her. Bronwyn? That's disturbing. I don't think possible. I don't think those two ever met. Why would she say that?
Something catches her eye. She runs her fingers across the back of my couch. Alpaca? I nod worriedly. She nods appreciatively. Mind if I try? I protest as she sits down, but it's too late.
Hello, I'm Rain. I'm Rain.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
Officer Peter sighs. I'll get going then. Heading for the...
Oh, Bron, I'm so glad you're here. We need to talk.
Is something wrong?
No one can hear us, right? I mean, I'm assuming this room isn't bugged, although knowing Violet, there's probably cameras everywhere.
You think Violet...
Probably. I don't know. She has that look about her, don't you think? Like she knows something she's not letting on. I wouldn't be surprised if there's cameras hidden in the wardrobe.
What have you got to hide?
Nothing. Though I'd rather she didn't see me dancing around in my underwear. I only do that for people I love.
Do you love me?
Of course I do, Bron. See? And now that's on film. I hope you enjoyed that, Violet. Listen, we need to talk about our alibi.
What about our alibi?
I know you said it would be better if we said we were together, but lying about your alibi, that's pretty serious. Are you sure it was a good idea?
No, lying makes things worse. We should do whatever.
You're acting like we've got something to hide. Ron, is there something you're not telling me? Why'd you ask me to lie? Were you really in your room all night?
Yes. No.
Where were you? Ron, don't mess me around, you're scaring me.
I'm just kidding, I was here all night. I was out.
No. No, you weren't. I don't know why you're saying that, but I know Bronwyn Castle and she's no murderer. Just drop the act.
Oh. Yeah, because I'm an automat now. She kisses me on the cheek and gives me a gentle push.
I'm truly sorry about...
I didn't really know her. I saw her pictures in the newspaper. Can't remember what for right now.
I didn't see you here last night.
What are you implying?
It's just suspicious.
Does anyone really care that Dorota is dead?
And he looks like he's in quite a lot of pain.
Yes. Where could he be from?
You can tell Sam about Birmingham.
Well, what can I tell Sam that you haven't already?
You know Sam likes a fact check.
I don't really know Sam. But if you're sure, then I guess I'm sure.
What did you tell the police you were doing last night?
I told them the truth. That I was in my room. I'm not sure if they can fact check it, but it's the only alibi I've got. Kind of wish we'd all stuck together now.
When should we do another reading?
Looks that way. Have you been feeling possessed lately?
Why possessed?
You're kidding, right?
Scene. Several were made, apparently. But as far as I can tell, I have the only one.
Well, I wish I hadn't seen this.
Poe's Curiosity Shop.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
It felt unnatural to be here, in this place. With some regret, he thought back to the day he volunteered for a top-secret project at an undisclosed location. He had assumed the location would be somewhere on Earth. Dr. Dimitri Sheffield, an expert in the field of archaeology. It had to. Dimitri kept reminding the others, and himself, that they were writing history here. Unimaginable discoveries had been made these last few months. Discoveries he had never dared dream of, much less be a part of. When he and the other scientists first arrived here, their excitement had been almost unbearable. But that initial spark of enthusiasm had...
Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi lied about their alibis. I'm thinking what to do about it. Apparently, Lexi used a Ouija board to get Dorota's name. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. And finally, you pull the name Zach Weston from somewhere, saying he's the town photographer? I've never run into him. Still, I guess I'm not in the papers that much. That's it.
As they waited for the elevator to reach the bottom, they went through their schedule for the day, which centered around their latest discovery, a hole of less than 2 meters wide that seemed to go on for several kilometers into the ground. Its edges were most unusual in that they were astonishingly smooth down to a molecular level. Indeed, it was clear that this